Hello and welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Sleep Deprived podcast. That's right, the second one. We made it this far. We've actually done
Amazing.
it.
Oh wow, we should be so proud of ourselves.
I'm your host, TheCanasian, and with me is my lovely co-host, Sunshine. How are you doing today, Sunshine?
Excellent. How are you, sir?
I don't know, man. I'm a little like off. I feel like physically off.
Mm,
Mentally, it's like I'm obviously just firing away. Just because when am I not? But
mm,
like, I honestly yesterday I thought I caught Rona, and I was actually like, not that I thought, but I was like, is this possibly Rona? Because I've been working, so I was like, I was a little worried. But I just like yesterday was so weird for me. I had a massive migraine all morning,
mm.
and well throughout the day, and then when I got home, I passed out. It was around 5 a.m. and before I passed out, I tried to play some games and relax for a little bit, but like my motor skills just felt like they felt
Mm.
off, you know. So like I wasn't able to move my mouse as accurately, and it just like it genuinely felt weird.
Are you
So
taking care of your body? Are you eating the way you're supposed to? Are you sleeping? Are you drinking lots
listen,
of water?
listen here, mom. I don't need none of that. All right.
Answer the question.
I have not.
Yeah.
I am an
Yeah.
adult. I do what I want.
Well, your
um.
body's gonna make you pay for it.
Well, I
You
mean,
gotta
I
you gotta drink
slept
excessive amounts of LaCroix like I
exactly.
do.
I don't think we have those here in Canada.
Really?
I actually don't think we do. Like, I've never seen a can of LaCroix in my life, besides like through videos and you drinking your magical. Yeah.
All the time.
If none of you watch Sunshine's streams, she'll often drink a can of LaCroix on stream, and it often just like goes through the green screen, so it looks hilarious because it's like magical juice.
Yes.
Um, but speaking of juice, I think that's what's actually the reason why I felt so off yesterday was because I think I was going through a caffeine what's it
Like
called?
withdrawals?
Yeah, caffeine withdrawal cuz
Ooh.
I've been drinking too much of that G Fuel.
I see it in the back there.
G Fuel sponsor us. I still love you guys. Okay, that's why I'm having withdrawals cuz I'm drinking you guys so much, you know?
Mm,
But I think that's what it was. And
that makes sense. That'll give you headaches.
yeah,
Big
it's
time.
well, it's just the headache and like just the whole body felt off. But that's part of the reason why I thought it was COVID, was because like my
Mm.
body just felt off. But now I feel a lot better. You know, I've slept it off. You know, I've eaten a lot of food. I haven't had caffeine yet. I was thinking it was a caffeine withdrawal, so I was like, I don't really want to touch caffeine right now.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
It's too late. We're on the same time zone.
I've
It
had
ain't
the
time for that. Jesus Christ.
bro. One day I'm gonna die on this podcast.
Sid's gonna kill you.
Something's gonna kill me. But yeah, I've been struggling physically, mainly because I'm just not taking care of myself as I should be, and you know I've been working a crap ton. You know, we're
Yeah.
working on a lot of projects inside Nocturnal. We can't speak about it here on the podcast. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. Who knows? But that's actually a good topic, is overworking and talking about struggling
Mm-hmm.
and with both content creation and and all that. Let's talk about it, because
I'm down.
I know that as a content creator, well, for us to talk on levels, it's a good example just to show you on how on all levels of content creation, I'd say, because I know like when you think of burnout for content creation, you think of like big high level YouTubers, you know, like those million subs kinds of guys, the guys that are doing it full time. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good that you're here for, because you're a full time content creator as well.
Mm.
Um, Unfortunately, I'm not at that point yet, but we will get there, and I will experience the burnout. But I'm kidding. I've already experienced that burnout working with everything on Nocturnal.
Well,
Um,
you're still working a full-time schedule, like
yep,
a big boy job, and then you come home and you're doing all of the Noct stuff, and then for a while you were also streaming yourself, so
right,
anybody would get burned out doing that. And
yeah,
anybody who says that like, oh, you just get on and play some games and talk to people, it's easy, and no. It's
yeah,
not.
exactly. Like I think that's like I think for all content creators who, especially who are actually trying to make an effort to make it happen, it is a lot. Like I know a lot of like
Mhm.
there's a difference between just streaming all the time and actively working on a brand
Right.
your own
Mhm.
personal image and stuff like that. That's what I've noticed a lot. I'm part of a couple Facebook groups for like Twitch streamers and stuff like that where you advertise all the time and you see all these people like, you know, that you'll see the two different types of people. Two people that are, you know, the one side of people trying to actually engage with the audience and engage with trying to make connections and stuff like that. But then you also have the people that will just self promote and
Yep.
hope that some people are going to drop by. And honestly,
Mhm.
that's the big difference is that, you know, for speaking on somebody that, you know, actually works on building a brand for themselves, like that's you can experience that burnout, I think, in my opinion, at any point
Mhm.
of content creation. You know, like again, you feel it quite a bit, I'm sure, especially because you're doing it full time. Um,
You know, for me, it's more of a mental thing than
mhm.
anything. I struggle with a lot of like self-esteem issues and self-doubt, and streaming has a way of really preying on those negative feelings.
Yeah.
It's something I struggle with every single time I hit that going live button, and every single time my eyes glance over at the viewer count, and it's more of a mental thing for me than it is burning out as far as like time spent or things like that.
Yeah. When it comes to things like that, you mentioned the viewer count thing. Like, do
Mhm.
you often have that on, or do you turn that off every now and then?
You know, I turn it off when I'm feeling really vulnerable and
Hmm.
feeling like it's going to like I can tell sometimes when I get on and I'm like I'm expecting to have a certain number of people watch me right now, and if they don't, it's going to hurt my feelings. It's going to make me
Yeah.
feel inadequate. So, and of course that affects your content, that affects the way you act. And so when that happens, I do turn it off because it's realistically I haven't gotten there to where I can turn it off all the time, and I should, because realistically it doesn't matter, and I know that, like, you can't really control that viewer count, and a lot of times it's not even really in your control,
Hmm.
and you should be streaming the same to one person as you do to 100 people
Yeah.
realistically. So it shouldn't matter, but I think that's a hard hurdle for a lot of people to get over, myself included.
I think regardless though, it's like because like at the same time, especially for live streaming, I find like keeping that personality. If nobody's watching, it's hard to really keep that because then who
Mhm.
at that point who are you entertaining, right?
Right.
So for me, especially because I have a lot of that situation, you know, because when I streamed, well before like the end of my streaming, like when I was streaming a lot, it was I wouldn't get a lot of viewers. I would get the off like, you know, 5 to 4 viewers, and a lot of them wouldn't chat, so I'd assume that nobody was really watching. It was just all lurking.
Mm.
um so honestly, most of those times I wouldn't keep a personality for myself. Like I would just be quiet, which I know for me is really detrimental because when people come in to see my
Right.
streams, they expect to see me being like how I behave when I'm on your stream, for example, like when we're playing CS. I'm very
Mhm.
high energy and just really stupid, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but when for me, it's like I'm like that when I'm hanging out with people, and if there's nobody in my streams, it's hard for me to keep that
Mhm.
personality going.
Yeah.
Which is for me, which when I started getting to like a better state of my stream, when I was getting more views and stuff like that, I find I put myself in the mindset where I was recording, where this was eventually going to be YouTube footage. So I'd have that personality, I'd have that energy and stuff like that. So it's really I think, well, it definitely is the mindset of getting into it. You know, are you feeling up to keeping a personality constantly? Which I find for like now, like I understand full time creators when they say they're getting burnt out of that. You know, like especially like those really high energy
Yeah.
YouTubers. You know, like honestly, I don't even know how content creators like Ali do it every day. Like, you know, clickbaiting all these kids.
Yeah.
But I guess at the end of the day, you know, if you're making enough money off of it, then it's kind of worth it at the end. Especially, you know, no offense, Ali, but your content sucks. uh, but like if it's at that point you just sold your soul for the money, then at that point I think it's just easy because you know that what you're gonna do no matter what is gonna be success. But like I find
Mhm.
for somebody like for the creators that are doing it um for a creative endeavor
Mhm.
as well as money, it gets really hard because at that point you see like, you know, when you create something or when you're doing something, like do you really feel like you're up to it, or are you just a phony at that point? And
Yeah.
that's what I think that's kind of really why I stepped away from streaming. Like I haven't fully stopped streaming just yet. Eventually, I hope to get back to it. I know that everyone keeps yelling at me to stream again,
Love to see you
but
stream again.
but it's for me it's the mental about
Mhm.
do I really want to get back into it, and then also is the whole thing that you mentioned before where I'm working on so many different projects, especially with
Yeah.
Nocturnal. Is that I work a full-time job, I get home, um, and then I'm working from there. You know, like I'm cutting this podcast, I'm editing stuff, I'm doing graphic design
Mhm.
for posts that we're making, and then I'm managing the rest of the team, and then I'm doing all these plans for the future and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where I don't at this point I don't even think even like have time to really sit down and play a game. Honestly, like by the time I have time to play a game, I'm heading to bed because I'm exhausted.
Mhm.
So like for me, that's part of the reason why I stepped away from streaming is just because I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm making bad content because I don't have the energy to do it, and I don't want
Mhm.
people to realize that okay, what is being created here and what is being produced is fake energy, and it's disingenuine.
Mhm.
So that's why I've really taken a step back from streaming is just because I don't want to put out bad energy, you know, like that's just really the case. And
Yeah.
honestly, part of me is okay with that because at the same time, I was putting in a lot of work and I just wasn't seeing a lot of progress for myself to be happy.
Mm.
And um I'd love to start streaming again, but it's I want to get back into that mindset where I actually feel motivated to stream and then at the end of the stream go and edit stuff for
Mhm.
myself. But that's
Sure.
stuff when things get more aligned with everything that we're doing.
Mhm. Well,
Um
it's about balancing your priorities, which I think is obviously what you've done. You know, you've got,
mhm.
your work, your home life, your rest time, and then the knocked stuff. And that's more important to you than streaming right now. And that's okay. And I think that's really important for content creators to do. Like there's I think there's an urge for a lot of us to dive into like a million different platforms and a million different things. And it's more valuable to like decide, and I have interests outside of streaming and I have my own pursuits outside of streaming. And so
Mhm.
I balance both of those things. And if I were to do anything more, I think I would really burn out on one end or the other.
Yeah.
So again, it's about picking what it is you want from yourself and your content and your life and prioritizing and not trying to do everything at once because
Yeah.
nobody can. Nobody can.
Absolutely. Hi. I knew there was a goblin in here. Come here.
We need to see the kitty.
Come here. Come here. You're not supposed to be down here. This is Schmo. I don't think she likes being held,
No, I can tell she doesn't.
and she's not supposed to be down here. There's our animal guest of the week.
Mhm.
Next is yours.
Oh, mine's over there sitting right on her butt. She looks ridiculous and fat.
Yeah, so like in terms of other content that you've been thinking of doing like outside of streaming, like have you thought of doing anything? Like maybe like IRL stuff or
Well, I'm writing a book,
Mhm.
so that takes up a lot of my creative energy and a lot of my time. I spend hours and hours a day writing. I really want to focus more on my cooking.
Right.
I do a cooking stream, so that is one of my favorite days of the week. I do it once a week, but oh look, Uh, that's my favorite day of the week, honestly, is do my cooking streams, and quite frankly, I would do that every day if I felt like I could and
Mhm.
handle all the extra food around the house, but, anyway, I do wanna focus more on that. I'd like to do more cooking videos. I started dabbling in, like, TikTok cooking videos a little bit.
Or
Um,
don't careful, Gordon Ramsay might roast you.
dude, Gordon Ramsay would love my food.
If Gordon Ramsay like if you got roasted by Gordon Ramsay, how would you feel? Would you be upset or would you be happy?
I would be happy. I don't care. There are things he could roast me on. I'm not a great baker.
Like if he shit all over your meal that you think was amazing, how would you feel about that?
Well, if I, like, felt really strongly about it, like, I have a couple dishes that,
Yeah.
I boss out, I know that. And if he was like, "This shit's disgusting," or "It looks disgusting," I mean, yeah, I would be really sad. But also, some of Gordon Ramsay's cooking is kind of bland,
Oof.
So
Gordon, I hope you're not hearing this.
like not everything. He has some good recipes, but I've done
Yeah.
I can't his scrambled eggs are extremely pretentious.
How
Like
so?
he uses creme fraiche and it's like a very slow like scramble. It's like a
Is
like
creme okay? Is creme?
yellow
What is
curd.
creme fraiche?
Creme fraiche is like
Is it just sour? Is it like sour cream?
it's similar to sour cream. That's kind of
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have
I've
a
only ever
rich
cooked with
palate.
it like one time. I don't use creme
Yeah,
fraiche
like
in my cooking.
I don't have a very rich palate, so it's like I wouldn't know.
I'm
Like
middle of the road as far as my palate. Like I don't know everything, but I
yeah,
know
like
enough.
I'll eat a grilled cheese with like singles craft cheese, and I'll think that's like gourmet
Look,
shit right there.
no, see, listen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a secret. You
Yeah,
want
what's
some
up?
gourmet grilled cheese?
Let's hear
This
it.
our topics have gotten way off,
Doesn't matter at this point.
but you get the Pepperidge Farm cinnamon swirl bread with the raisins in it. Cinnamon
Oh,
raisin bread.
uh
I
huh.
swear, I know it sounds
All
weird, and
right,
then
all
you put
right, all
grilled
right.
cheese on that. Kraft singles, butter on each side, grill it like you would normally.
Yeah.
Bro,
All right. I'll have to give it a shot.
so good. Give it a shot and then let
For
me know
me,
how it
like when
changed
I
your
was in
life.
high school, well, I haven't really made a grilled cheese in a hot minute. Besides this morning, which I'll explain what I put
That's
into it. But like when I was in high school, I always had a dream of making like a gourmet like grilled cheese restaurant. Just because like I always came up with like the dumbest but like best ideas for grilled cheeses, and like it's hilarious because anytime I had a friend over, they'd want me to make them a grilled cheese. And when I was in college, we called it like Hub Day, where we'd go to my place and we'd just study and do work there, because my we'd have a class and then we'd have a break, and that break was 3 hours. So we figured, why don't we just go to Derek's place because he's closest, and then we'll go back to campus after. So we go to my place, and they'd all make me make them a grilled cheese.
nice.
And their favorite one made by me was the grilled cheese one. Well, so,
Oh, the grilled cheese,
was
grilled cheese.
the ramen grilled cheese.
Ramen grilled cheese.
Yeah. So I took like a puck of ramen, and like I'd cook it, and then I'd compress it enough till it was like nice and dry. So then it became like a nice like meat patty almost, and then like I'd put some steak in there as well. So it'd be steak, ramen, cheese, and then bread, and it was like that was their
Oh
favorite.
shit, that sounds great.
But then I actually saw a TikTok. I think it was a TikTok, or I saw a video of Gordon Ramsay saying that ramen and grilled cheese was the shittiest idea ever. And I was like, I haven't done that before. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, Gordon Ramsay doesn't know everything. All right.
Yeah.
Just
So that I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. And then today it didn't hurt at all, because I honestly, it wasn't my favorite one, but like it was still pretty good in my opinion, that I like because I made it. But yet earlier today, because it's Sydney and I's anniversary,
happy
I
anniversary.
thank you. I decided to make her some breakfast, and I made a grilled cheese with this might hurt you. I put Swiss and Monterey Jack.
That's fine. You can
With
use all kinds of cheese.
and then I took some, how do you pronounce it? Genoa or Genoa? I never knew that.
What, I don't even know what that is.
It's a type of meat. I think it's Genoa.
Oh, like
I don't remember.
salami. I don't
Yeah.
know how you. It's
Yeah.
like
So I took that, and then I also here's the kicker. I put hot Cheetos in there too.
What?
And it was okay. Sydney liked it, and I liked
pretty
it.
Good. That's
It
not really
was-
breakfast. But
It was, well, I mean, to be fair, we had it at 11:30, so it was brunch regardless.
well, okay. It's acceptable brunch.
Yeah. So it was two types of cheese, the salami, and hot Cheetos. And honestly, I was pretty proud of it. It was pretty good. And it was nice. It's got that nice crisp on it. You know, I didn't feel like no binging with Babish, but it was still pretty good in my
Babish
opinion.
does some wild stuff too.
He he doesn't have a background in cooking though, does he? Like originally.
I think he went to school to be like a filmmaker.
Yeah,
or
like
he was
like
a
for
filmmaker.
advertising or something like that. I remember watching
Yeah.
like the Q&A.
Yeah,
of that,
I
and
can't remember exactly, but yeah, he wasn't like a formally trained chef as far as
I want now with that, like I wonder if Gordon Ramsay would hate binging with Babish, because he's had no like formal training in the kitchen supposedly,
No, but
unless of
if
course
you've
we're
ever
missing.
watched, if you've ever watched like like Kitchen Nightmares and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's super nice and friendly to like the aspiring chefs and like the people that are just
I
learning.
haven't seen him. The only time I've seen him being nice was with kids.
No, he's nice to people. Like
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's a dick too, but he's nice to people that like work hard and like have passion.
Okay,
If you,
so like,
there are
cause
a lot of wholesome moments on Kitchen Nightmares.
like, cause it was one of those things where I've seen the videos comparing him where he's like with adults and he's just like, you fucking suck in this. And then with the kids, he's like, it's all right, don't cry, you're doing all right. And it's like, I had a thought, it's like, what if we had a show where like these people were wearing masks and like he just like we'll see who he roasts and stuff like that. And at the end of the episode, you just find out it's all the kids that he used to like he did the show with in the past, and he's like,
Bro.
I'm a fucking dick.
Bro, imagine traumatizing these children that are like trying to learn.
Why were you so nice to me like 8 years ago, man?
You were a kid.
And then, now that you're an adult, I can spit on you. But I don't know, like he just genuinely seems like a dick, and I know that's his persona, and I know he's got kids, and I'm sure he's great to them. But at the same time, I feel like if I walked up to him, I'd get slapped in the face. You know,
I would love to be slapped in the face by Gordon Ramsay.
I wouldn't.
Slap me.
Okay.
What?
We heading to that side of the internet now, boys. But yeah, he just terrifies me.
Well, here's a question as far as internet personas. How do you feel about people that act like a complete dick and asshole on YouTube or Twitch, but they're actually just like putting on a huge act?
Like,
how do you feel about that?
Honestly, like if it's their like with Gordon Ramsay, it's his character, right? Like if he were to act differently, then people would be like, who the fuck are you? Like, what happened to you? What are you?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like I've always wondered that. Like, I wonder what Alex Jones is like off of the internet. Like,
yeah, I've wondered that too. Does he actually know
what he's saying?
Like, is he for real, or is it just all a big act? Because he's made a ton of money off of his idiocy.
I think he got banned off the internet at this point, basically.
He was banned from Twitter
and YouTube, and I think Facebook as well for false information.
Okay, I don't know what he's doing these days, but
I think here's the scary thing. I think Alex Jones actually is crazy, just because I've seen, or at least he, like, obviously he's super conservative.
Yeah.
But like I've seen videos of him like at a restaurant, like doing the whole Karen act kind of thing. Or like what's the male equivalent to Karen? Chad?
I'd say Chad.
Yeah, he was being a whole Chad. Like he was trying to act tough in like a restaurant, and people were calling him out and shit.
Well, I think eventually if if it starts off as a persona, well, do you know who Larry the Cable Guy is?
Obviously.
That's all an act. Like, he's not even remotely. I think he's from like, I don't know where he's from. He's not from the South. He goes like I'm gonna eat your cow here, and then he's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know what he's like in real life or what he was like before that, but like eventually, like, if you act a certain way, you probably just
becomes a part of you.
Person after a while, you know. So maybe Alex Jones started off as like a normal dude, worked in finance or something, and then
the frogs are gay.
Yeah, it just like spiraled out of control.
he had one bit too much of coke.
Yeah, too much bone broth.
I'm trying to think of other personalities who like are kind of known to be dicks and like could
Dr.
be.
Disrespect, for example.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like he's a chill. Like I think I've had a conversation with somebody in a Discord before who like he's friends with Shroud and all them, and I think it was shout out to D Rich, but I'm pretty sure I can't remember when, but I had a conversation with him because we were chilling out in Discord, and he ended up bringing Shroud into the Discord, and we were playing CS together. And at one point, I think Dr. Disrespect actually came into the conversation, and I think I remember them talking about how he's a chill guy off the scenes. But like, obviously with him, like, have you seen the whole video where he like comes out and admits that he's been unfaithful with his wife and to his wife and stuff like that? Like, with that kind of situation, like he seems like he's a nice guy, you know. And the whole thing where he's like, you know, some fucker shooting at my house, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I
Like,
and again, I was never, like, an avid watcher of Doctor Space, kind of
yeah.
stream I would pop into occasionally and be like, "What's going on?" But I got the notion that it was more you can't tell if it's sincere, if it's just,
Mhm.
like, publicity at that point. Like, are you putting on an act right now like the
Yeah.
rest of your persona is, and this is all just a ploy for views because, let's face it, we're sitting here talking about him right now because of his controversy. People
Yeah.
know that that shit works. So, there for me, I don't know if that kind of stuff is genuine. It's hard
Yeah.
when that crosses over, you're like, "Are you for real right now?"
Yeah.
Or
Honestly though, like, going on to that topic, I'd actually love to have that kind of I'd love to be able to split that kind of life and people not know the difference, or being able to tell. Because then I can hide like my personal life and just be left alone, and then
Yeah.
people expect me for my persona at that point.
I could see that, and I
And
get I'm very open with my life, and I'm married, and
mhm,
I know for 100% fact that affects my community. Like, there are
yeah,
people who have come in, it's one of those things that happens. People come in, they find out I'm married, and they think, "Well, I don't have a chance with her, so I'm gonna
yeah,
leave." And I know a lot of streamers who keep that information to themselves, don't
for
tell
the
people
for the
they're
gain,
for the it's not even that, it's like people see you differently and,
and
you
treat
know,
you differently based off of
treat
that.
you differently, and it does affect your growth, and
Mhm,
like, there are a lot of people who give streamers, particularly female streamers, shit for not disclosing their relationship status or
yeah,
lying their relationship status, but I completely get it,
mhm,
and I could see myself doing the same exact thing because I know how people treat me
yeah,
when I say I'm married,
mhm.
and I get what you're saying there, that I could see where you would wanna draw a line as
Yeah,
far as
like being able to separate content from like being able to separate work from life, I think would be a really nice thing to have as a content creator. That's why like I envy content creators like, like the faceless ones, like for example, like Swagger Souls, or the new one that's been popping up lately was Corpse. I don't know if
Mm,
you've ever heard of him, the guy that's got like a super deep voice
mm-mm,
and everyone's been simping over him.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, everyone's calling him Deep Daddy.
Back to that side of the internet.
Yeah, but like honestly, I envy those people that have that kind of faceless
Mhm,
aspect to them, where
yeah,
people know them for their character. Like Swagger Souls is known for his helmet. Uh,
mhm,
Corpse just known for his deep voice. Idalia is a good example. One of our own creators. She's got her VTuber aspect to her, and
mhm.
nobody knows what she looks like.
I think that's a really cool thing that's coming up is the VTubing
VTubers,
thing.
yeah.
I totally get it, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, like I wish I started streaming around that time because like the character that I have is like, could have been perfect for that. I've been secretly, well, not secretly because I posted on Twitter because I was just so excited, but like I've been making my own kind of anime-ish style character
Cool.
to use as my persona, but like it's hard for me to find that separation now because everyone knows what I look like.
Mhm,
Like my face is out on the internet now. Like even if I were to try to mask it, if I all of a sudden became a well-known personality, I wouldn't be able to keep my anonymity. Is that the
mhm.
term, anonymity?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be able to keep that. And personally, like I wish I didn't, like that's part of the reason why I wish I didn't start streaming and kind of give up on the like I started streaming before I got the hat.
Mhm,
Um and I kind of wish that I waited because then I can start with that and people will come for that personality, not the face or anything. Not that anybody's coming for the face anyway.
Oh,
But like
hush.
um
Look at
but
that
like
blue fade in your hair. Look how
oh
cute you
my
look.
gosh,
Oh my
shash.
god.
But like yeah, like cuz then like on shitty days like you know I wish I gotten in at a time where VTubing was more of a thing. Like VTubing was so fresh by the time I was like a year into streaming.
Mm,
So it's like damn, like I kind of wish, but like I don't think it's too late because like Pokemon's doing it when she's not feeling good, she's using it. So
yep.
like maybe I can just retire the whole look and then just get a VTube fucking
You can always rebrand, you can always
yeah,
change, and people will adjust to your new persona over time.
yeah,
It's easier when you're smaller, mid-sized, absolutely.
yeah.
I'm rethinking my content a little bit. I'm thinking about going in a slightly different direction. I and I'd say I'm a mid-sized streamer.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad about doing that and changing things.
Yeah, like I think that's something that I'm going to be doing is actually looking into doing VTubing. I have no idea on the first thing to do it, but I'm thinking about it. But like again, where it becomes difficult for me to kind of come up with that idea is with the projects that we've already done. For example, like this podcast, and like what am I going to do then? You know, like do I continue with the face cam? Do I do the VTubing? Like what do I do? You know, so that's why it's
Mhm.
like it's hard when you've already kind of established that brand, you know?
Yeah.
And like especially for larger creators, like it
Yes.
like the ones that have kept their anonymity that fall to the pressure of doing like a face reveal, like all of a sudden everything changes when you show your face. You know, because once that's seen, no one can unsee it. You can't
Yeah.
change, you can't go away from that. So
Especially if
like
you don't, yeah, like, yeah.
yeah, it's tough, honestly. Even like again for a small creator like me, like that's a challenge that I think rebranding and like changing up your content, no matter the size, will always be difficult.
Yeah.
Especially, and it will only get harder the bigger you are.
Yeah. I mean, I notice, 'cause I started playing CS:GO, and that's what I played
Hmm.
every single freaking day, 'cause I would get off work and I'd come home and I'd stream CS. That's really
Hmm.
all I did. And, over time, I stopped playing CS. I stopped enjoying it.
Yeah.
So it's really only become a very sporadic thing that I do on stream now. And
Yep.
when I made that switch, people and especially then I was tiny, and so many people were upset with me, and I still get comments to this day. I haven't played CS regularly for
To try
well
and play.
over a year, and people are like, "Why don't you play CS anymore?"
Yeah.
Ugh.
A lot of people do get excited when you play CS too. I get excited.
Oh, they do. They love it. And
I
but
get
I just
excited, and then when I'm tired, you guys force me to play.
well, we like it when you play.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm the only one with energy.
Well, you do have a lot of
We make things for some reason. Every time we play, we always just get dumb.
well,
When it's
that's
you and
the
me on the team.
I like it. I don't play CS seriously anymore. I used to,
Hmm.
got all the way up to TMG, thought it was badass, and it just became horrible, and it showed when I was playing on
Comp and
stream.
stuff like yeah,
Yeah, so now I literally just play 10 mans, or I just say, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do whatever I want. If I want to run
yeah,
down mid with a Negev, I'm gonna do it. Like, who
yeah,
cares? Like, it's just for fun.
yeah.
Uh,
It's hard because especially when you like well for your standpoint, it's hard to do something that's for a job because when it becomes a job, it takes away that fun
right.
because then you have to make some sort of content out of it, which then feels like you're forcing it, right? And it's especially hard for smaller creators because one of the bigger ways to grow, I find, is to find your niche within a game. You know,
Yeah.
um, a lot of the Fortnite creators. Luckily, there's a lot of like shifting around with Fortnite that everyone's okay with the shifting around of games, but like you find a lot of streamers who aren't like you find a lot of streamers that like stayed on one game, you know, fall into obscurity when they try to play a different game. And that
Yeah.
I think that really sucks is that sorry, I'm getting so many different noises because I don't have the right fucking plug for my headset here. Um but it sucks because you see a lot of these content creators fall into obscurity when they try to branch off their content. Unless of
Yeah.
course like they're like unless of course their audience is really big. You know, like you see people like Shroud that play different games, but you do see his numbers fluctuate all the time when he's playing a different game.
Yeah.
Um, but like I've seen so many YouTubers, not YouTubers, but like I've seen so many streamers that will like they'll play CS, but then as soon as they switch to like for example, if they play Valorant, a lot of people are like fuck this guy, he's not loyal to CS, he's going to
Yeah.
Valorant now, fuck you, blah blah blah, and like I feel like that's the same thing for like especially the pro scene. I find for Valorant, I've seen a lot of people get targeted with harassment for going into Valorant and saying, "Oh, your reason why you're going into Valorant is because you're a washed CS player," which like really sucks to see.
That's
But like,
horrible.
yeah, because like yeah, they got burnt out on one game and they just couldn't find the drive to compete at the best level, so they went to a different game that all of a sudden they're doing a lot better.
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well, people complain that like people on the internet aren't genuine and streamers aren't genuine. They're only doing it for money and views and stuff. And then the second they do something that they enjoy, they get they get shit on for it. And
and
I
then all of a sudden they have to start caving and
and doing
going
yeah.
exactly.
And I refuse to do that. I have to like today, for example, I played a game that
I
I'd
watched
never
you play
played on stream.
Celeste.
And my viewers were lower than they usually are. And you have to be okay with that.
Hmm.
And you have to remember that, it's important to build a community over anything else. And
Exactly.
once you build a good community, they'll watch you play anything.
Yeah,
They'll watch you stare at the screen for an hour.
I've done that.
You've done that.
I've
There you
watched you look at a screen for an hour.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, like so that's why I spend a lot of time in just chatting, I talk to my community, and then when I play games,
Yeah,
they're there with me, and I think
it's
it
all it's very good to build that connection with the community
mhm,
before you like really expand your content. I find because if you expand that content before a community is built, you're just gonna lose that so-called community you already had. But
right.
that's why it's so important
It's hard
to
to grow as a variety streamer,
exactly
just right off
exactly
the bat.
yeah. That's why like I find like for streamers that are big is because they've already built that connection with their viewers,
Yep.
or at least like they've already made the solidified that viewership, right? Because I find with Twitch viewers it's they're so it's like that with anything, they don't adapt to change too much, when like I'll go, for example, like I'll go out and I'll watch a bunch, like I'll go follow a bunch of streamers, but I never really stay with them, and I realize this because I want to support the people that I'm already supporting, and I don't have
Yep.
time to go support others. So, you know, it's better to try and get those people that will stay first,
Mhm.
because a lot of the times is those people that are watching you likely already have somebody else that they've watched and they
Yep.
want to stay with. So
Yep.
like that's what I'm saying is it's so huge to build that audience that will stay with you
Mhm.
over, hey, I'm dropping in, okay, I'm going to my next streamer that I'm staying with.
Right.
And I find
Absolutely.
you have a lot of that. You've got a lot of good community built, and that's really good for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I've
Um,
my community is amazing. They've been with me
mhm.
for so long and no matter what I do, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah,
And that's what like there are things and I've seen streamers do this. I can think of a few in particular that I've seen that clearly are doing things for the shock value to gain short-term viewership and you see them. I saw somebody blow up, get partner immediately, but they're back down to about where I am right now.
yeah,
And that's that's the thing. It doesn't last. The thing that lasts is your community.
exactly. And
It goes on for years.
if you're not building it, then your career as a streamer will only, like, it will inevitably fade.
Yep.
People get bored of people, and as much as people stay with like a streamer that they really like, if you're all of a sudden not producing the content that they like, they're going to leave, because like,
Yep.
and that's what's so volatile about, I think, content creation in general, like YouTube, Twitch, and all that, is that people are so quick to leave, or to like watch your downfall, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I think that's the scary thing about content creation, and that's why like the thought of full-time content creation is like, it's such a cool idea, but at the same time it's such a terrifying idea, because like I can never understand the hustle of like a full-time YouTuber who's got like a whole mansion to pay for. Like, you know, YouTube will make a policy here and then just fuck your monetization. Like, anything can happen at any point, and all of
Yep.
a sudden you're making like 50% less money than you're making because of an
It can happen
apocalypse.
in a flash. People can just
Exactly.
fall so quickly. And I honestly, at my size, I should not be full-time streaming. The only
Hmm.
reason I can is because of my husband. That's
Yeah.
all. I pay my bills, but there's no way in hell I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah.
It's far too scary. um,
Yeah.
so I'm fortunate in that, but even still, it's a scary thing because you
Yeah.
don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen.
You never know when your next paycheck's you never know when your next paycheck's coming in, is just the real answer to that. And
Yeah.
that, to me, that's like a super terrifying thing. It's just because you never know who's going to turn up, you never know what's going to happen, something could happen to you, to your community. Something can happen to the policies that, you know, that happen for whatever platform you're working for. Like
Mhm.
anything can happen, and it's so volatile and it's
And
terrifying to do.
COVID honestly has been a huge, and
Contributing factor.
I've seen the effects of it personally. It's been hard, and I'm sure I'm not the only
Yeah.
person that has seen a struggle.
Yeah, like it
Um,
that's hopefully COVID is over soon, man. Like it's so draining.
yeah, we got to take care of our mental states right now, all of us, because
Like
it's been a
can the
hard year.
economy and like everything just shut down for a little bit so like we don't have to worry about money and just like go on with life?
Lovely, that sounds great.
Can I pay for my food with uh
Hugs.
no, social distancing. No,
Mm-mm. You're
I
right.
with a
No COVID
nice
hugs.
firm the self handshake, I like to call it. You know, where you just clap. Say, "Hey man, how you doing? Nice to meet you." And the other guy
I like
claps and does that too, you
I
know?
like that better than the awkward elbow bump that people do with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm not doing that, bro. Stop it. Just stay over there."
One thing that we started doing at work is like I'll pass by my friend and we'll just do the air five. So we'll just like high five each other from like 5 feet away. Sorry,
Right.
6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet.
Right.
Always social distance, guys. Wash your hands too, you stinky motherfuckers.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wear your masks.
Wear your masks. Don't touch people. Don't touch your face. Don't lick dirty toilet bowls and shit. Yeah, COVID sucks, man. Like I honestly I don't think anyone, well, no, nobody expected this except for fucking Bill Gates because he developed this.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, 5G and everything, bro. Why is he not in jail?
The 5G, man.
Oh man.
So I
I
can't
feel
even joke
bad.
about it.
I
Stop
feel
it.
bad for him, bro. Like the fact that like he's just chilling, man. Like he's just trying to save the world. He warned the world about this kind of thing anyway, and everyone's like, "Where the fuck is he? Why isn't he in jail? 5G. Oh, he's gonna kill us all." Like what? Where do you get these notions in your head?
This year has really brought out the stupid in people.
Have you seen those videos? Like it was obviously from Florida. I'm sorry. But like
It's not as bad as people. Well, it kind of is.
listen, man, if there's a challenge called the Florida Man Challenge, then listen. Have you done that yet?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's so the challenge is you type in your birthday and then Florida Man and see what some Floridian man has done on your birthday. I want to know. Yeah, do yourself a favor and check what a Florida man has done on your birthday.
My year also.
No, just the day. Just the day.
Okay.
I'll check for mine as well. All right, let's hear it.
Florida man carries alligator into beer store in Florida.
There you go. See? All right, watch me.
Wow.
What's mine? Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Florida man jailed after dispute over hedgehog leads to armed confrontation. Yeah, all right. So I was fighting over some sort of fucking wait, a Florida man was arrested on aggravated assault charges after he allegedly armed himself with a machete and a baseball bat during a dispute with his son about a hedgehog.
Both? What a guy.
What's wrong?
Kidding, that's not okay.
Wait. Homer Stacy II, 53, was walking outside his Green Acres home Sunday, pushing a wheelchair with a baseball bat and a machete on the seat. Wait. Was he in a wheelchair with a baseball and a machete? Bro, I'd be scared to face this, man.
Yeah, no way, dude. Dude's crazy.
Florida's crazy, bro. Why is Florida so crazy?
I don't know. Florida
As somebody as a resident of Florida, why is it so crazy? Tell me. Is it because the 5G?
You know, obviously that's the answer. But aside from the 5G problems,
you guys are just built different, bro.
It's hot here. I think that's the problem.
I think it's the water y'all been drinking. The gator's been pissing in the water and y'all just drinking that shit.
There's nothing wrong with gators, okay? It's not the gators that are the problem. Realistically, though, I think Florida is really diverse and people don't realize that. People have like a a weird picture in their head of what Florida is.
I just
Because
think meth
what
heads and
yeah,
everything.
you get meth heads, beaches, and old people.
Not old
And
people, just meth heads and beaches.
well, there's a lot of old
You're
people
the old
here.
you and Nin are the only people that I've seen that I can say are normal from Florida. I don't think I've ever met anyone else that's not fucked.
There's lots of people who aren't fucked. I have friends here.
But yes, like fuck. The world I'd say the world is just fucked in general. You see everything that's happening in the world right now is crazy, bro.
Yeah. But in regards to content creation, it was weird. I don't know if you experienced this. Right when COVID happened, like right when
Hmm.
quarantine happened, there was a huge like influx, right? Everybody's like, man, I got all this free time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on Twitch and chill. And like viewership for everybody I know, including myself, went way up.
Yeah.
And then a couple months passed.
Everyone just got depressed.
Yeah, depressed and didn't wanna be on their computer and were, like, dying to get outside
Yeah.
and not feel like a piece of shit, and
Oh, I mean, that's me all the time. So like
same.
nothing really changed for me. Like I always feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, bro.
But
Air 5.
like I did notice that I wanted to just get off the computer a lot more. It's still the case now, but like there's still more things that I want to do on the computer, like besides working. Like I feel like because like with when COVID came by, it was like is at a time where everything was shifting around for us that I was just changing how we were working entirely. That
Mhm.
it really distracted me from the time and playing games in general that I missed out on so many games that I want to get into now. So like more recently I've been playing a lot of Warzone because like when you got into it, I wanted to get into it, but I never had the time. And
Mhm.
now all of a sudden like all these people are building like crazy classes. I'm like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to try that. So I'm like
Yeah.
grinding out multiplayer, and then like I'm seeing all my friends getting on Warzone. I'm like, all right, I want to get on Warzone. But now what pisses me off is that nobody fucking plays Warzone anymore. I'm like,
I'm bummed about that. I don't know what happened. I loved Warzone, and
bro, like I need to find friends that play Warzone.
I play Warzone, but when I stream it, everybody's like, "Oh, you're playing
All
Warzone?"
right, when you're playing offline, message me. I'll fucking play.
I haven't played all I don't play games off if I'm on my computer, typically, I'm writing. That's
Yeah,
what I do
or
off
or
stream.
streaming.
Or streaming, and if I'm playing a
Yeah,
game I mean, I do play games off stream still. I just played, like, Spiritfarer
yeah.
off stream and beat that, and that was it's a good time,
Now,
but
with full-time content creation, when you find yourself playing a game offline, do you feel guilty when you're not
no,
streaming it?
no, I
Do
don't,
you,
because
okay.
I recognize that, there are some games that I don't wanna stream and aren't good
Hmm.
for my stream to stream, and I still want to in some ti like, again, I don't game a ton off of stream, so
Yeah.
maybe that's different for somebody else, but, when I do, it's nice to unwind and keep my hobby because that's how it started. Gaming has always been a hobby for me, and it's really easy when you're streaming, playing games all the time that, like, you can lose your love for your hobby. It becomes a
Yeah,
job. It's
exactly.
like you said. So I think it's important to
To
make
find that
time for
separation.
yourself, make the separation, play games when you're not streaming. There's nothing wrong with that. Your community, I've never heard anybody who gives people shit for playing games off stream. Maybe I'm sure it happens,
Yeah. Like for
but
me, I like it's a weird thing. Like, even though I haven't streamed in a hot minute, like I often like this the reason why I have shadow play is because there's so many moments where something will happen and I'll just think to myself like, fuck, that was funny, or like fuck, that was
yeah,
awesome. Like why am I not streaming? Like I should be recording this, or I should be streaming this. Well, and luckily, like again, shadow play exists, luckily, but some games like for some reason shadow play can't exist. Like for example, when we were playing Face It, like I
mhm.
wasn't streaming, but like so many funny things happened that like I wasn't able to save for myself, but I was able to save through you. But unfortunately, it's just not through my point of view. So
But you
like
have to
some of
be
the things you can't
okay.
capture.
Yeah, you have to be okay with that though. Like, not everything is meant to be posted and seen on
Hmm.
the internet, and I know some people would disagree with me on that, and
Yeah,
I understand that to a point when you want to be a big content creator, you kind of have to get in that
yeah,
mindset that you're always working toward it, and like that's true to a point, but you don't want to do it at the expense of losing your own fun,
yeah.
you know.
I think like I don't know. It's just tough because like I find so much joy. Like me personally, I find so much joy in creating content. Like
Hmm.
whenever something funny happens, like you notice how it's happened for your stream quite a few times, happened for my stream and a few other content creators where something funny will happen and I'll clip it and I'll instantly make an edit out of it.
Hmm.
I've done it. I've done it. I think for you like
Yeah, you
countless
have.
times.
I love your edits. They're great. They've
Where
always been
and
so
it's
good.
like it's hard because like for me, I find like I don't have enough of those anymore. Where for my clips, like, oh yeah, like oh that's funny. Oh, let's edit it out. Like I don't find that joy anymore. But I still find joy for with you guys. But it's just tough because like whenever something funny does happen, I do get that click in my mind, like fuck, why am I not streaming that? I could have gotten a
Yeah.
funny reaction out of it, and then I could have clipped it and then made a funny edit. But like for me, it's just like when something happens, that just pops in my head, and I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
fuck it. Like I've lost motivation to do it.
Mm. Well, I
It's
think
tough.
it's fine to think like that. It's just you can't beat yourself up for
Yeah.
not streaming every single moment of every day, or not, playing a game off stream or doing things off stream. I don't feel bad about that, because I know myself, and I know how quickly I my mental state declines,
Yeah.
and it's really important for me to make sure I do things that I enjoy and keep my passion alive for gaming, and you know.
Which I'm super glad that you found that balance, because like I'm still trying to find that balance, even though I'm not creating content anymore at this point.
Mm.
It's just super hard for me to get out
It
of that mindset.
it can be hard. And again, I still struggle with it. I feel like I don't stream enough. I feel like I don't stream a lot, and I should probably stream more. But again, I'm balancing two different big projects, which one is streaming and one is my book. So, and I have to remind myself of that. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
And
these
with
are my
all the projects that
priorities.
we're running with Nocturnal, it only adds more, like we're taking, one day out of 2 weeks to record this podcast. Not that it's a burden for me at
I
least. I don't know
I
if it's
love it. And
yeah.
it's just making sure that you're doing things that you still enjoy. I
Mhm.
mean, being a content creator, you have that luxury that you can at least try to do things that you really enjoy. You don't always have to do things like,
Yeah.
that aren't fun anymore.
Now, as a content creator, like, cause we never, well, like, at one point we were talking about, um, like how volatile the platforms can be. Like, what, like your opinion on Patreons and stuff like that, and a lot of the content. Like, I've seen a lot of female creators lately, like, cave to OnlyFans. Like, what do you think? What do you like?
Um,
What do you think about that? Like, all their opinion or your stance on that at least.
I mean, I'm of the mindset that you do whatever you want to do, and as long as it's something that you are comfortable with and don't feel like you are forced to do it, and it's not affecting you in a negative way, like, do it. If you want to make an OnlyFans, do it. Supply and demand, baby. I personally, that's not me. However, I have the luxury that I have a support system.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that. And
Yeah.
for example, like, the last 2 months of streaming income for me have been extremely low, and I can see another month this month being extremely low.
Yeah.
And I could
With COVID, it
easily
only gets worse.
I know it's been not great. But um I could easily see myself, if I'm in a position where I can't pay my rent, and I know if I take a picture of myself and put it up, and I'm gonna get $1,000 for
Yeah.
doing OnlyFans something. I get it. I fucking
Yeah.
get it, because it's tough out there. And also, anybody who says like doing OnlyFans and stuff like that is easy money, they're full of shit. Like,
You got to do all the marketing for that, bro.
you
Now,
gotta keep up your appearance, you gotta
yeah,
take good photos, you gotta market yourself, you gotta pull in a community that's gonna pay for it. Like,
you
it's
got to
not
get the tease
easy
ones.
money. Yeah, it's not easy money. Like,
Yeah. Now,
nothing. And go ahead, sorry.
when you see a content creator like that, like, do you see? Well, obviously you don't think of it, but like, what do you think of the people that you say it's like, it's a cop out at that point? Like, oh, you're selling your soul for the money at that point. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I wouldn't call it selling your soul, unless you're the type of person that, again, you're clearly just doing it because you feel like you have to. And I think
Yeah.
there are probably people like that hate every minute of it, and they do it because they feel like it's a necessity and it's
Yeah.
the best way for them to make money. And I'm sure that happens, but I don't really know a ton of people who have OnlyFans at, like, on a personal level. So it's hard for me to speak to like what's going through people's minds and things, but I would assume that a lot of the people who do that are totally cool with it.
Yeah.
They probably enjoy it. It makes them feel good about themselves because they've got people just like, "Damn, you look great," all the time, paying to see you. Like,
Yeah.
that's an ego boost. Like, I'm sure I wouldn't call it a cop out. And anybody who gets on to people for doing that, like, don't blame the person that's making the content. Blame the people that are
Yeah.
paying for the
That are
content.
subscribing to that kind of
They're filling a demand. That's all it
exactly.
is. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not opposed to any of that. Like again, for me, it's whatever. Your body's your body. You do what you want. You know.
yeah,
Like honestly, like if I were in that mindset, like if I were thinking about it, I actually had this thought the other day. Like if I were a woman and I was attractive, I probably would do it myself. Like, you know, for me, it's like it's the whole like I have no shame in anything, and I have nothing to hide really. Honestly, like if I were to take like an inappropriate picture, you know, and somebody were to leak it and be like, "Yeah," people are like, "Haha, is that you?" It's like, yeah,
yes,
that's me. Yeah. What about it? You know,
yeah. Who
you
cares?
got one. Your dad's got one.
Yeah.
What are you
Well,
gonna do?
I understood the head. I understand the head game.
Yeah.
Because I've done like experiments where I did this a couple years ago. I was like, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but I'm gonna wear a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm gonna do the exact same thing and I'm gonna wear a tank top.
Yeah.
Nothing revealing, a little bit of cleavage, whatever. It's insane
The
how
difference.
fucking quick people come in, the viewers go up over nothing.
Yeah.
Over a freaking tank top. And it's like, I fucking get it.
Yeah.
I don't really do that. It's not my vibe. That's not who I am. I stay genuine to myself.
You just wear what you
Um,
feel like feel like
yeah,
wearing.
and if it happens, I live in fucking Florida where it's 105 degrees. Sometimes I wear a fucking tank top. No shit. But
Yeah.
um, but like I said, I totally understand why people do that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Again, you're just filling a demand.
Yeah. I feel like Western culture is just so like we've made nudity so taboo. Like
I
it feels so weird because like I think in Europe like they have so many like nude beaches and it's just like yeah, the person's naked. Like what about it? Like but
I
here like
like
as soon as you see some side boobie pop out, you're like oh like none of that makes sense to me. Like it's so like
it's
why?
It's ridiculous, and it creates a ton of I was raised in an extremely conservative household, like,
That too,
the
yeah.
kind that I wasn't allowed to wear shorts around men at all, which is kind of a weird thing. It's like,
The shoulder, that's right now.
"Oh,
Sorry.
this shoulder
You're committing a sin right now. I'm sorry.
scandalous."
You're committing a sin. I'm going to have to cleanse myself after this podcast.
But, like, actually, though, like, that's
Yeah.
how I was raised, and it's like, and again, like, eh, I was told, like, "Oh, you have uncles coming over, like, don't wear shorts." And it's like, "Excuse me?" Like,
Yeah.
I never really thought about it until I got older, and it creates all these, like, fucked up, like, self-body image issues. Like,
Yeah, and then
I'm
it
so
only gets worse.
insecure. I'm so insecure about my body. I always have been
Yeah.
from the day I was, like, 12 years old, and it's horrible, and I do appreciate that a lot of women aren't feeling that way. Like,
Yeah. It's
they don't feel
obvious
like they have to wear a bra all the time and all that
yeah.
stuff.
Like it's obvious like when you learn like all these taboos at a young age, it'll always stick. And
Yeah.
like to see that it's improving is getting better. Mind you, it's still a little unsettling though because like I've seen a lot of like young girls like wearing a lot of these like little skimpy outfits, like I won't lie. And it like to me, like I don't know like if I feel unsettled or if it's just like if that's just like the new norm and like I should be getting used to it. Like well obviously it is getting to be the new norm, but like at the same time like I feel like it's just like it's still to me a little unsettling to see young kids in these outfits, you know?
It's just a
But
that's
mind
such a
you,
complex issue, and
yeah,
I don't really
exactly.
know how to talk about it.
Mind you, when I was a kid, like all I wore was like sweatpants, and I love seeing those videos like on TikTok. And it's like, oh, this was me back when I was
Yeah.
13, and these are kids now in 13, and like I look like shit, and this kid looks like a freaking like they just went to a photo shoot. And like, huh?
I think we could go into a whole nother discussion about why young kids dress like that and like how they're trying to fulfill some kind of weird new standard where you're supposed to be like fucking beautiful by like age 13 and looking like you're 20.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Like that, I think
Yeah.
that's such a tough like it's such a tough conversation to have,
Yeah.
just because we're talking about kids here, and like honestly, I think kids should just be able to grow however they fucking want to grow and not worry about what people are thinking. Like even me, like even for my age, like around my time, it's like I was always worried about that. You know,
Mhm.
I think that's part of the reason why I changed out like how I dress and stuff like that. Because again, like when I was in high school, I would always just wear cargo pants and
Hmm.
like really torn up jeans and just like the same t-shirts every day and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then like I just see like I see the styles that are like online and like I see how all the kids dress and like but for me it's not more of like oh, I look like shit back then. It's just like for me luckily it's not that whole mental battle where I think I look like shit. It's that I just like how they look. Like, you know, I like, oh, your pants look cool. Okay, I'm gonna start getting into that
Yeah.
style. So for me, luckily, it had nothing to do with my self image and wanting to improve it. It's
Yeah.
just me liking that style and me starting to develop that taste for it. But like for kids, like it sucks to see that like I see so many kids falling for the fucking like the Supreme and Gucci and all that. Like I know a
Yeah.
kid that had a more expensive outfit than me than my computer. And it for me it was so weird. And like he was flexing it. Like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, these shoes are $800. These pants, bro, cost me 600." Like, "Where is your mother? And where are you getting the money
Presumably,
to pay for this?"
presumably she bought it for him, I would
Yeah, and it
assume.
makes
But
no sense to me that like you're falling under like people are just falling for that pressure to like buy these expensive clothes to look
yeah.
cool. Like like honestly like with the clothing that I wear, like I think I just find some cool things and I'll buy them. But like I know if I were to show up to any like streetwear like gang, I'd be fucking shit on. They're like, "Oh, what you got? You got fake Gucci shoes, bro? Like you got these fake pants and like they're not even name brand, bro. Where'd you get them from Walmart?" Like to me, that's like why. Like I think they look cool. Let me wear them.
Yeah. Well, that and it's like you said, people get so caught up in maintaining a certain image and
It
look, and it ends
sucks,
up
man.
starting really young now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I mean, I think I experienced that a little bit in high school. You know, for me, it was everybody was wearing Hollister and like
yeah.
Abercrombie and Fitch and stuff, and um,
I just got lucky enough to grow like to be in a school that was diverse enough. I mean, at least I think so because I always hung out with like the kind of like I'd say I hung out with the in betweeners, like the people that weren't super popular but like
mhm.
were left alone. Except I was that in betweener that got bullied a lot because I was
Oh,
so different. I like realistically, I was hanging out with the people that were in between, but I really should have been with like the fucking outcasts of school. But luckily, because I had Sydney, that it kind of like balanced out. That like people were
mhm.
like, all right, he's fine. Because I in school, like my personality, like when I'm on camera and like when I'm playing games with you guys, that's me. Like that's genuinely me. Like I'm just stupid. And and when I was in school, like that's me. And a lot of people would see that as this guy's fucking dumb. Like he's stupid. Why is he here? So I'd
Mm.
get bullied a lot for that. And I find like it sucks to see like now thinking about it how you're outcasted for being different, you know, in a social way. Like it's good to see that people with disabilities are being like I haven't seen a lot of people being bullied for having a disability, but like for somebody who's like eccentric or like energetic or stuff like that, they're always outcasted. What that from what I've seen. And
Mhm.
like to see that as an adult now, like I hate to see those kids in those positions just because they're just a little different socially, right?
Yeah.
Like they might be a little bit more energetic, they might just be a little funny, but like people hate them because now you have to be part of this norm of being normal or being cool. Like that's just dumb.
Well, that's the
And
beauty of the internet now, and the more different and crazy you are, usually the better chance you have of
honestly, like
blowing up.
fuck everybody in high school that said I'd be nothing. I still am.
Jesus Christ. You're supposed to be positive,
You're
bro.
right. I'm sorry. High
God,
school's really getting back to me, bro.
bro. I don't
No,
think
but
about high school anymore.
honestly, like man, I think more about college than I do about high school cuz like honestly, when I was in high school, I was just in that mental thought like none of these people fucking matter to me and they
Yeah.
never will. You know, and there was only a few people that I thought would be my friends till the end kind of thing, but like after like a couple months of college, it's like, yeah, fuck that. They didn't matter.
Yeah, I realized that very quickly. I didn't do
Yeah.
a lot after my first year of college. After I fucked around and almost flunked out and got in with the wrong crowd. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And I just put my head
Now the
down and I
question
worked.
is, every now and then, do you have that urge to like stalk people from high school and or college to see what they're up to?
Well, not so much anymore because I already know what most of them are doing. I went to a very small school.
Yeah.
So I already know what people are doing.
Yeah.
But just a couple of people from college. I looked up my ex recently
Oh,
because I was like, what's he doing? I couldn't find him. Couldn't stalk him anymore.
he died.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, for me, I have this tendency to like to check up on people. Like
Mm.
I like me. I don't know if it's me just being too nice to people, but even some of the people that I didn't have a necessarily good relationship with, I always try to message them like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, you
Oh,
know,
that's nice.
what are you up to? What's life been like? How have you been? You know?" And uh, with some of them, I've made some really cool connection. Like with them, like to see like one of my friends, I used to have some sort of deep hatred for her just because she was
Mm.
like one of those like rebel kids, and I was like, you're so fucking like, you're a dick, like fuck you. But then like I realized that like I see like she had some sort of I want to say epiphany, but like she really seemed to like change up how she was behaving on like social media and stuff like that. And I really kind of like I really appreciated to see like I really just saw somebody's growth, and
Mm.
like I really wanted to catch up with them, and I had that conversation, and like I realized that like I don't want to say underestimated them, but like I completely misjudged them. That's the
Mm.
word, misjudged. Like I took them as like a douchebag and like popular girl, fuck you. But like after sitting down and having a drink with them and just being like, shit, like you're fucking cool. Like goddamn, why'd I like think of you so differently? And like
Mm.
so that's like I don't know. I just have the tendency to check up on people from my past. I don't know why. It's just something that I have done, and I don't know if that's necessarily healthy or not, but I'd still do it. So
I think the way that you're doing it is healthy. If you're one of those people checking up on people just to see how they're
I
fucking up
always want
their
to check.
lives, like that's not healthy.
Hey man, how you doing? I heard you just I just heard you OD'd on cocaine. What's good?
I heard you got a divorce. Haha. Like I know people
Haha,
like
I'm over
that.
here married. What's good with you? You still single?
Yeah.
Nah, I
No,
would never do
people
that.
do that though. Like
I
that's
would
the
never
thing.
do that. I would feel like such a dick doing that.
Mm.
Like I wouldn't like I don't know. For me, I try to always be I try to give everybody the same respect, if not more than they give me.
Yeah.
But that also leads to me getting stepped on a lot by people, and it sucks, but at the same time I still do it just because I feel like if I gave out any negative energy, it would just come right back to me.
I
But
believe that.
yeah, I believe in energy, if anything. Like, you know, if I don't believe in anything religious, then I believe in some sort of like fucking world energy that if you bring it to the world, then you're gonna get fucked.
Well, it's certainly true for your own physical and mental well-being. And I should take my own advice because I'm super bad about this. I'm going through a little bit of a crisis right now, to be
Aw.
honest. But when you believe the negative and you tell yourself that you're never going to do this or that, it's more than likely going to come true.
Yeah.
And
And
if
that's why I
you,
haven't stopped with what we're doing, man. I believe in it. And we're
yeah,
gonna make it
and
happen.
yeah, um, so I believe that wholeheartedly, and I see it in myself when I am positive and getting it and feeling good about what I'm doing. My quality of work is better in all aspects of my
Exactly.
life. But when I feel like shit, I don't get anything done, and I lay in bed and I feel sorry for myself. And
Well, there's no need to feel sorry because you know what? This podcast, everything we're doing, all the projects that we got, the secret stuff that's going on, you know, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen. We're out here to inspire people, and we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna make something happen. All right.
hell yeah,
And I think that would that's kind of mark the second episode right there. I think we're about hitting the hour mark. And if this is edited down because we talked about some random shit, then maybe it's not going to hit that hour mark. But if it is, hell yeah. Um, yeah, I had a good time with the second episode. What did you think?
yeah, this was great. This was a lot less scuffed than the last
A
one, so
lot less scuffed.
we're
We
getting
see.
better.
We told you guys for the people that said the first episode was scuffed, which it was. Fuck you.
Fuck you for being right and
Yeah,
observant.
exactly. That means us too. Fuck us.
Fuck us. Now
No,
you
don't. But like, you know what we mean, you know? Unless
what?
No, but thank you. Okay, we're going back to the scuff stuff. Thank you guys for watching the second episode or listening. If you guys are listening through any sources like Spotify, iTunes, or wherever we are, thank you guys again. We really appreciate you. And my final message is to anyone from high school that's listening to this: fuck you. You mean nothing to me, and I will be soon making millions of dollars. Sierra, fuck Sunshine to you. Did I just dox you?
Dogs.
I'm gonna have to bleep that.
Everybody knows my name.
Nobody knows mine. Don't say it. I'm kidding. I think everyone knows it. It's on my Discord.
It's all I ever say when you come into my stream.
It's on Discord too. But yeah, to you now. I said my message. She also says fuck everyone from high school.
No, I hope everyone from high school is doing super well and that you're succeeding in all of your dreams and endeavors.
I'm her anger translator. Fuck you. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.